April Fools, how students have some fun with the holiday and what it can do for mental health.
Plus, President Biden is planning to visit Baltimore this Friday after the bridge collapsed last week. I'll have more on what construction and cleanup efforts are looking like.
And CNY SPCA is holding the annual adoption event for the total eclipse of the heart. I'll be talking more about why this week is so important a little later on in the show. News Live at 6 starts right now.
This is CitrusTV News Live at 6, your campus news leader.
Good evening and welcome into News Live at 6 on this Monday. I'm Bradley Hoppenstein.
And I'm Maddie Stelk. Thank you for joining us tonight. Let's get right to our top story. It's April 1st today, which means it's April Fool's Day. Our very own Harrison Calder is here in studio to break down what the holiday is and how it's appreciated here at Syracuse.
Maddie, good evening. April Fool's Day is a day full of pranks and fun that falls on the first day of April every single year. The day is known to have been celebrated for centuries, possibly even from Roman times. It comes in good fun and is extremely important to partake in, especially towards the end of the school year. With upcoming exams, papers, and homework assignments piling up within this last month, some lighthearted fun can be a great way to give everyone a deep breath. Here's what some Syracuse students had to say on tricks or pranks they've gotten or played today.
I actually got my roommate today. I'm happy you asked me this. So if you ever have a sink that has like one of the sprayers, it usually has like a handle on the front. So if you wrap like rubber bands or something around it real tight and they go to turn the sink on, it'll just shoot on them. So I actually got my roommate that today.
Somebody hid a lot of like mini ducks in Krause College and people have been finding them everywhere. I found one by the elevator. Someone put one in like the coins of like the vending machine. Yeah, so I found those today. Haven't really seen much else.
Throughout the years, there have been many iconic tricks that have been played. BBC has reported on flying penguins. Taco Bell joked they bought the Liberty Bell and claimed that the company had a name change. Burger King had a left-handed Whopper, which, as a lefty, has me pretty excited. Even Alex Trebek, former host of Jeopardy, swapping with Wheel of Fortune's Pat Sajak for a day. Pranks like these are really important for mental health, especially for a college student.
I feel like especially with recent times, even like globally, and then with classes coming to an end yearly, and then me being a senior, I think it's like a nice little, not so serious day for people, which I really appreciate. And I guess you can do a lot of wrong with it, but I feel like if it's done right, it's just like a little poke, which is what I really appreciate about it. I like it.
Back in 2021, 33.6% of Syracuse students said they would rarely prioritize their mental health compared to their schoolwork or other obligations. Statistics like these point out how April Fool's Day is necessary and can bring in such a good energy to all involved. That's all I've got. Bradley, I'm going to go back to you at the desk.
All right, Harrison, thank you. I think we got some jokes coming up on our own newscast here. Meanwhile, also on campus, SU is celebrating Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month this April. While AAPI Heritage Month is celebrated nationally in May, SU will be hosting events all throughout April so everyone on campus can join in on honoring the histories and cultural diversity of AAPI communities. Here's a list of events that will be hosted all throughout April. The AAPI Heritage Month Information Fair and Kickoff will take place this Thursday. Some other events are a banquet on Friday, April 12th, an alumni speaker on April 17th, and a badminton tournament on April 20th. For a full list, sounds like a good time. For a full list of all the events, you can visit the events calendar on the university's website.
And tonight, it already started at 6. The Office of Academic Affairs is promoting an event called Promoting Peace in the Middle East. You can join Reverend Brian Conkle, the Dean of Hendricks Chapel, Rabbi Ethan Baer, and others for a conversation about the ongoing conflict in the Middle East through the lens of religious understanding. The event will go until 7 p.m. and is taking place in the Peter Graham Scholarly Commons in Byrd Library. You can visit Syracuse Hillel on Instagram for more information. And Bradley, it was a pretty nice day out today. A good change from what we were seeing last week with the freezing cold temperatures. I'm hoping it'll stay.
Hoping it'll stay. It seems like we're finally getting out of the worst of it.
We say this every week, though, and then it just goes back to the same thing.
That's true. We were saying just before the show we're actually supposed to get snow next week.
Yes, but I mean, we should enjoy the nice weather while it lasts.
Absolutely.
Tyler, what are those temperatures looking like right now?
I'll get to those temperatures in a bit, but first off, guys, happy April Fools. I did something a little bit special and I got a haircut today, but more important than that, it's our weather coming up. It's 58 degrees. Like you guys said, it was pretty warm outside. The sun was coming out. People were on the quad. People were happy celebrating their April 1st. It was no fool's errand, though, as the clouds did kind of roll in throughout the end of the day, and they're going to continue as that temperature goes. Excuse me, if I turn on my clicker here, that was another April Fool's prank done by somebody. They turned off my clicker. If you look at the rest of our temperatures, though, you're going to see that around the area, there's temperatures all kind of running the same bit of the high 50s. A couple of them are kind of dipping into the below. Actually, no, none of them are dipping below the 40s. Excuse me. They're all staying in that wonderful 50s range. But if you look at later tonight, that's where you're going to see the dip. The dip is going to continue kind of all throughout the night, going down to 41 degrees. And guys, it's going to be a bit rainy. But we're going to get to that in just a bit.
Did I miss something?
I don't know. I'm liking Tyler's fresh cut.
I don't know.
I need the number of.
Was that
of
even
the
Tyler
barber there.
Oldano? Like, we don't know.
I guess we don't. But what we do know is
there's new details
there
tonight,
are.
Maddie. Some very important new details tonight, because as we move away from today's weather, hopefully next Monday here in Syracuse, we're going to have clear skies, because Destiny USA is planning to close for 30 minutes on April 8th for the total solar eclipse. The mall says it's doing this to ensure that all of their employees are able to experience this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and they're encouraging shoppers to return back into the mall after the event, but individual tenant hours may vary, and shoppers can check out Destiny's website for more information on that. I hope it's a nice day out. I already got my eclipse glasses, Maddie.
I've been hearing about this. I still need to get a pair for myself, and you have to watch out for the fakes. I heard that's a big thing as well.
I'm actually just going to stare right into it. No glasses at all.
No,
You can take my pair.
That's a bad idea.
You take my pair.
We do not advise anybody to do that. But speaking of closures, here's an alert. If you'll be heading to the airport tonight, Syracuse's Hancock International Airport is closing its north parking lot by Terminal B. Officials say it's because of maintenance, but Lot A will still be open to travelers.
Are you interested in adopting a furry friend? If so, listen up. The CNY Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals is hosting a Total Eclipse of the Heart adoption event this week until next Monday, April 8th. Live at the CNY SPCA to tell us more about the event is our reporter Isabella Galan. Good evening, Isabella.
Thanks, Bradley. I am currently standing outside of the CNY SPCA, where dozens of animals are awaiting their forever home. I had the opportunity to stop by earlier this morning to meet some of these furry friends and learn why adoption is so important. A special event calls for a special pet. Inspired by the solar eclipse, the Central New York SPCA is hosting the Total Eclipse of the Heart adoption event all week long. The goal of this week is to get more people to adopt and find animals their forever homes.
The idea is, to tag on to the once-in-a-lifetime eclipse that's coming, on April 8th, and, opening this week up as an open adoption event so people can come in and they can find their once-in-a-lifetime buddy, whether it's a cat, dog, guinea pig, whatever anybody wants to watch the eclipse with, and just make it easier for people to get in here. And it is a never-ending revolving door of animals. Now, there's more animals in this community than we know what to do with between all the shelters and rescues.
Since its formation, the goal of the Central New York SPCA is to help with issues of animal neglect and cruelty. Adoption is not only important to find animals a home, but to also create a space for new animals in need of shelter.
Adopting it's like rescuing an animal, giving them a second chance. I think it's a great opportunity. It's just a heartwarming feeling.
As an open adoption event, people are invited to come in all week long to visit the different animals they have, including guinea pigs, rabbits, cats, and dogs, and learn about the best ways to take care of them. For more information on how to adopt an animal this week, visit cnyspca.org. Reporting live for Citrus TV News, I'm Isabella Galan. Back to you guys in studio.
Isabella, thank you. And local and state leaders are coming together in hopes of affordable, high-speed internet access. Syracuse Mayor Ben Walsh and other city leaders issued a joint letter to Congress regarding funding towards the Affordable Connectivity Program. The letter urges New York Senators Chuck Schumer and Kirsten Gillibrand to fight the ending of the program's funding, which 42% of Syracuse residents rely on. The program ending would incur an additional $10 monthly fee to families who use it.
A CNY native is celebrating today after a $50,000 Powerball ticket was sold at a Liverpool gas station. The other 50,000 tickets were sold in Rochester, Staten Island, and Wallkill, but nobody won Saturday night's huge jackpot. Saturday marked the 38th straight drawing without a winner. The next draw will be on Monday with a $975 million jackpot up for grabs here in CNY.
And it's tax filing season, and with 2 weeks left to file your tax returns, the IRS is warning of 2 new scams this year. The first one being that a cardboard envelope is coming from a delivery service. The letter includes the IRS letterhead with a phone number that does not belong to the IRS. Another scam being aimed at business owners and the employee retention credit. Promoters are misrepresenting and exaggerating who can qualify for this credit. Also, be sure to look out for unsolicited calls and large upfront fees. A reminder that the IRS will never contact you by email, text, or social media. And after the break, severe weather sweeping through parts of the U.S. But is it heading towards Syracuse?
Plus, the latest in that fatal bridge collapse outside Baltimore. Stay with us.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome to my house. Lately, not my happy place. Everybody's pretty tired of each other. The parents were not themselves. My little brothers were morphing into small creatures. The walls were closing in. Clearly a case of too much family, too close, 24/7. And there's a lot of that going around right now. If this sounds like your house, try going someplace new. YourLifeYourVoice.org. You'll find lots of ideas to help you handle the family stresses of being confined to close quarters. YourLifeYourVoice.org. It might not get you out of the house, but it could help you find a little more breathing room.
You're watching Citrus TV News live at 6 with Bradley Hoppenstein, Maddie Stelk,
and Tyler Oldano.
Now, your campus news leader continues.
We're back tonight with the latest in the Israel-Hamas war. Israel's military withdrew from Gaza's largest hospital today. This comes after a 2-week raid that officials say killed around 200 militants and detained hundreds more.
The military says the raid is a major battlefield victory in the nearly 6-month war. Meanwhile, tens of thousands protested against Prime Minister Netanyahu yesterday and demanded he do more to bring home hostages held in Gaza.
Zombies, dark spirits, and murder. These are just some of the things you can expect to hear about in the Chad Daybell trial. The 55-year-old father of 5 from Idaho is being tried over the deaths of his first wife and second wife's 2 children.
Jury selection for the trial began today. This comes nearly a year after his wife, Lori Vallow, was convicted of the same crime in a so-called doomsday plot.
And there's a confirmed human case in Texas of avian influenza, also known as bird flu. Officials say the person came in direct contact with dairy cattle presumed to be infected.
The person is being treated with Tamiflu, and their only reported symptom was eye inflammation. It's the second known case of this virus strain in the U.S., and the state of Texas is under a health alert, but officials say the public is still at a low risk.
And now the latest on the Baltimore bridge collapse. The recovery efforts for the Baltimore Harbor are underway as state and federal officials start to pull out debris. Joining us with the latest on all of that tonight is our Peter Berry. Good evening, Peter.
Well, Maddie and Bradley, after last Tuesday's Baltimore bridge collapse, Maryland Governor Wes Moore faces his first major challenge after taking office more than a year ago. The cargo ship that brought down the bridge lost power and hit one of the main support beams, killing 2 people and another 4 are presumed dead. President Biden plans to visit Baltimore this coming Friday and is allocating $60 million in emergency aid to begin immediate construction of a new bridge and clear out the wreckage of the old one. Baltimore is one of the busiest ports in the United States and had 1.1 million containers of cargo pass through it last year. No ship can go in and out of the port at the moment, but the city is trying to make temporary channels for ships to pass through. Here's what the Secretary of Transportation, Pete Buttigieg, had to say about the port.
This is no ordinary bridge. This is one of the cathedrals of American infrastructure. It has been part of the skyline of this region for longer than many of us have been alive. So the path to normalcy will not be easy. It will not be quick. It will not be inexpensive.
I'll have more coverage on the Baltimore bridge collapse later tonight on Talking Points at 7:30. Maddie and Bradley, back to you.
Peter, thank you. Thunderstorms are making their way across the U.S. Down south, Oklahoma and Texas are under a level 4 of 5 risk. Officials are expecting this to be the most severe set of storms since last August.
The threat shifts east tomorrow toward Ohio, but the storms could unload hail the size of softballs, strong winds, and tornadoes. Tyler, I'm hoping it'll miss Syracuse. What do you have for us coming up?
Well, it could be missing Syracuse, and it could maybe not. It's April Fool's. Who knows? We'll have more on your weather in a bit.
Fancy pants peanut butter? A big screen television? You haven't even bought a sofa yet. A motorcycle? When your father finds out, he's gonna flip his shoes with 2 buckles? What do you even need 2 buckles for? Mr. Big Shot, buying whiskey shots for everybody in the bar. From the looks of it, I'd say nobody even remembers. Feed the pig.
If you're buzzed and doing this, to make yourself feel okay to drive,
ZWX.
you're not okay to drive.
YGKLVW. Regular you.
You've messed up your son's haircut.
Mom?
Do you A, try to fix it?
Like it never happened.
B, work with what you got? Or C, show solidarity?
Thank you, baby.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
From the CitrusTV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
Welcome back to News Live at 6. It's April Fool's, and hope you don't lose your head today like you're losing it over this beautiful weather we're having. Not going to last too long, sadly, as we're going to get some rain throughout the last parts of our week. It's going to warm up. It starts out a bit warm, though, with about 40 degrees or 48 degrees today, and it's going to keep on going down, 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 and down. So about 47 into the week, but we're going to have a little bit of sun and a little bit of clouds to kind of keep you entertained as the week goes on. But if you look at our tomorrow forecast, you're going to see that there's going to be a little bit of snow possibly coming in. This is not a drill. This is not a drill. They said there could be some snow. Now, this is on the north side, very far away from us, but it could be moving to us later throughout the week. As I mentioned, Thursday, there's actually a chance of snow coming in. I can't believe it myself, but that's what the weather.gov told me. We're not getting things from weather.com. We're not stealing from them. Back to you guys.
I hope that was a long list of April Fool's jokes right there.
Yeah, for real. Also, I'm still worried about where Tyler's head is.
I'm concerned. Hopefully we find it within the next 10 minutes here.
I hope so too. I hope so too. Thank you, Tyler. And AT&T says data from 73 million current and former customers was leaked on the dark web. The company says the leak of personal information, including social security numbers, happened about 2 weeks ago, and the affected data set appears to be from 2019 or earlier.
Another thing to be concerned about, but most of the accounts with compromised data are from former customers. About 65 million of those former account holders were affected. Only about 8 million current account holders were affected. The company says it's launching an investigation with internal and external cybersecurity experts.
And Syracuse men's lacrosse had its biggest test yet on the road in South Bend, Indiana. Find out if the Orange came out on top after the break. Stick with us.
Dad?
Just 1 minute, okay?
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
And now, your Citrus TV Sports Report.
Number 3 SU men's lacrosse had arguably its biggest game of the season on Saturday against number 1 Notre Dame, but fell just short of a win. Welcome into sports. I'm Sean Dempsey. The Orange were down 10-5 at halftime, but scored 5 goals in the fourth quarter to almost complete an incredible comeback. Heading into this game, the Fighting Irish won 9 of its last 11 meetings with the Orange. Leading the way for the Cuse was attackman Finn Thompson. The sophomore finished with a hat trick. As for Notre Dame, well, they had help all over the field. 10 players found the back of the net for the Fighting Irish, which put SU goalie Will Mark in a tough spot. SU aims to clean things up in its next matchup at Cornell tomorrow. Face-off is set for 7 p.m. But sticking with lacrosse, number 5 SU women's lacrosse took care of business against Louisville on Saturday, 22-12. It was all Emma Tyrell and company in this one. Tyrell finished the contest with 5 goals. Olivia Adamson finished with 4 goals and 2 assists to help push SU past Louisville too. With the win, Orange improved to 9-3 on the season and stay undefeated in conference play. Next up, Syracuse travels also to take on Cornell. Face-off is set for 3 p.m. for that one. And March means madness, but now it's April, which means that is coming to a close. This past weekend, the Elite 8 games were played. The NCAA tournament is now just left with 4 teams remaining in the men's bracket. UConn, who looks unstoppable right now, will take on Alabama, and 11 seed NC State will take on Purdue. This is the first Final Four for Alabama ever, and the first time NC State has made it to the Final Four since 1983. UConn, over the last 2 years, has won every tournament game by at least 13 points. A lot is on the line this weekend, but one thing is for sure, someone is going to make history, but both Final Four games are going to take place on Saturday. And finally, in Major League Baseball, the Yankees kicked off their season this past week with a road series against none other than the Astros. New York swept Houston in the opening series and capped it off with a 4-3 win. That was thanks to Juan Soto's go-ahead hit in the 9th inning to put the Yanks out in front with a win. Guys?
All right, Sean, now before we get to baseball, which I know opening season, very exciting, but I want to talk basketball. We're in the Final Four of March Madness. A lot of upsets over the weekend. A lot of people's brackets were really messed up. How are your guys' standing right now?
So mine's not doing entirely well. I had Houston winning the entire thing because I did not want to pick UConn to win and go back-to-back, but it's really looking like UConn is going to win the entire thing. They're just unstoppable.
At this point, no doubt in my mind, UConn wins the whole thing. My bracket's been busted for at least a week now, Maddie. But my question for you, Sean, the ACC, just as a conference in the tournament this year, I mean, they kind of came out and proved some people wrong, no?
Yeah. It's super interesting because the ACC was a conference that was kind of disrespectful when it came to the selective committee, but Duke made it pretty far. UNC got knocked out a little early, but you're looking at NC State, someone that no one thought was going to make the Final Four as an 11 seed. It's really remarkable.
Absolutely.
And just going back to the MLB for a second, what are your thoughts on opening day and what are your early World Series predictions this year?
I mean, I'm a Yankees fan, no bias, so it could possibly be their year, but you know, sweeping the Astros in opening weekend is really impressive.
All right, and the whole Shohei Ohtani story, that's going to be something that we're going to have to follow here at Citrus TV as well. After the break.
Tyler O'Donnell will hopefully have a head and your wake-up weather.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice, single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome. Prediabetes does. 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, but with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. And you can change the outcome. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test today. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org.
Here's your check.
Oh, you got it. You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. Got it. No.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early.
You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back to News Live at 6. I'm still without a head for a moment, but I am jumping for joy. Actually, not jumping for joy. It's going to be raining tomorrow. Over the weather. I was jumping for joy for weather today, but tomorrow it's going to start raining a little bit. It's going to start out at 41 in the morning. Oh, excuse me. And then it's going to cool down throughout the rest of the day, and you're just going to have a bit of a wet afternoon, but it's going to be all right as the, you're going to have a fun little extra couple days at the end of the week because it does kind of get a bit stunny.
Tyler, you look a little red. Did it get hot under that thing?
A little bit, yeah. I was a bit red because I was listening to Beyonce's new album. It's so good, guys. It is so good.
It's making you gush?
It's making me gush.
Yeah, I mean, she just released her new album on Friday, and the album is titled Cowboy Carter, and it's her first country album. This is huge. Tyler, please take off the green gloves so I can take you seriously.
Of course.
The album currently holds the 2024 single-day streaming record for an album on Spotify.
The album involves features from some heavy hitters in the music industry, including Dolly Parton, Miley Cyrus,
Icon.
and my favorite, Post Malone.
Post Malone, let's
go. Lots of
I
icons.
honestly haven't tapped my ear into it yet, but someone give me a quick review here.
It's amazing. I can't even describe how good it is.
Yeah.
There's so many like upbeat songs. It's just, you're tapping your feet, you're busting down to the rhythm. It's just amazing.
And then she has a great cover of Jolene, which
Okay.
I think is an homage to Dolly Parton, which
Yeah.
is great.
Country
Sean,
queen.
I know you were saying you love Post Malone.
Yeah,
Are you excited
I can't
that
wait
he's
to
on the
listen.
album?
I love Post Malone. I'm glad he's in it.
All right, you'll have to let me know what you think of the Miley Cyrus track, too.
Okay.
Keep me posted on that.
Yes, we'll have to look, and thank goodness Tyler has head in hands.
I know, right? It's great. It's so like having head in hands.
Welcome back. We missed you today.
I miss you guys too. It's hard being able to see.
And that's unfortunately all the time, though, that we have on Live at 6 tonight.
For more, you can follow us on social media or check out our website, CitrusTV.com. For all of us here, I'm Bradley Hoppenstein.
And I'm Maddie Stelk. Have a great night, Syracuse.